This podcast contains strong language and discussions about relationships, sex, and love. It may not be suitable for younger listeners. This is the Can't Keep My Mouth Shut podcast, and I am Nixalina. Hello, it's Nixalina. Welcome to Can't Keep My Mouth Shut, and I'm very excited about today's episode because I get to talk about my debut novel, LOLLY. The crowd goes wild. That was me clapping. That's like a sea of people clapping. Yeah, you got that? Note to self, you don't belong in any kind of voice sound effect industry. Got it. So today's episode is called Everything You Need to Know about my debut domestic noir novel, LOLLY. Now, if you've been a follower of mine, if you've been around since Sex and London City times, or maybe you're a new follower, you just breezed right into the Nixalina world, you'll know about LOLLY. LOLLY is my novel, which has taken me 9 years to write. I started it, I think I started it actually in 2014, but I officially built the start of the manuscript in 2015, and I finished it last year. LOLLY is, how do we do this? How do I break this down? Let's start off with domestic noir. Let's start off with the genre of the novel. Now, I could just say very easily it's a 50 Shades of Grey type erotica piece. But it is and it isn't. I feel like if I give you 50 Shades of Grey as the cliche comparison, you get an immediate understanding of my book. However, I want to make it extremely clear. I did not write LOLLY off the back of 50 Shades, nay, because I started it before 50 Shades even existed on the planet, but also it's semi-autobiographical. That's right. It's my personal experience. It's my trials and tribulations. It's my dating, sex, and love life, which is, of course, matching across all of my content and my brand, my whole life. So there is agreeable symmetry there between the novel and what I do for a living in general. So is it erotica genre? I call it domestic noir. The reason I say it's part of the domestic noir subgenre is because of, this is tricky. This is a tricky one. I need to give a little, but not give too much away. Because of the ending and because of the ups and downs of that novel, I do believe it's domestic noir. Just a tiny bit over erotica, okay? So, do you know what domestic noir genre is? It's a subgenre within the crime fiction. And it's almost always usually related to females. So, if we head to Wikipedia, bear with me. This is an easiest way to help you understand. Quoted by Elizabeth Haynes, who is apparently the queen of domestic noir. This is how she defined the genre. In a nutshell, domestic noir takes place primarily in homes and workplaces, concerns itself largely, but not exclusively, with the female experience, is based around relationships and takes as its base a broadly feminist view that the domestic sphere is a challenging and sometimes dangerous prospect for its inhabitants. Ooh, we love that. We love that dark realism. You know, like relationships, marriages, colleague relationships. It's wonderful. It's glorious. It's gritty. It's real. And my God, LOLLY is all of those things and more. So let me strip you right back, ladies and gentlemen, to a 21-year-old Nixalina. I just graduated from university. I went to the University of East Anglia and I did an English literature degree because I wanted to become a journalist, a reporter. I wanted to work for a glossy magazine, write features and change the world with my writing. I was so naive, bless me. So I graduate and I moved back to Kent. My university was in Norwich, for those who don't live in the UK. It's like a 3-hour drive away. I moved back and I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm working at a bar for some cash. I am like, now I need to get my ass into London. What do I do now? I need to adjust. I've been 3 years in the student life. What's my plan? And as luck would, luck or not, would bestow upon me, a gentleman comes into my bar where I'm working and changes everything. I end up working for a glossy magazine in the East End of London, in Shoreditch, no less. And what unfolds is a very deep, sexual, sensual, dark, obsessive, imitable relationship with one of the bosses. We call him LOLLY. We call him LOLLY. And LOLLY has so many different qualities to the name. I called him LOLLY as a nickname. I'm really struggling not to divulge. The first time I realized there was a sexual connection was because he come in for my lunch one day. He puts a lolly down, a lollipop, on my desk. And in front of the whole office, he announces, "I just want to watch you suck it," and then walks to his desk. I was gobsmacked. I didn't know where to look. I felt like everyone's eyes were on me. I'm pretty sure I went bright red. And he was extremely handsome. God. You read the book. I don't want to tell you what he looks like because I need you to read the book and you'll get the full description. But to have a man like that make such an overt sexual thing towards me, I was just gobsmacked. Like, wow. So the lollipop really holds a very significant part in that connection and relationship that was built. But also, lolly is a British slang for money. Like, have you got much lolly in the bank? I think it's the Cockney slang, which my family is actually originated from. I believe my mum's parents were Cockney. My granddad definitely was. So obviously it holds, personal value. But yeah, my boss, he had a lot of lolly. He was, richer than God. And his whole ethos and atmosphere in life was about getting money, more money, more money. So lolly had a lot of different connotations. There's a third aspect, which I can't tell you because I'm trying to play this as safe as possible. So yes, that's where the name LOLLY came from. And what unfolds from that lollipop moment is such an incredible tale with twists and turns, bondage, sex parties, severe BDSM, contracts to sign, trips to the sex shop on Oxford Street before checking into the Hilton Park Lane. It all goes on. There is Valentine's weekend trips to the Alps. There is a summer in Italy. And there is, amongst all of that, the worst possible twist and tell ending that you will never see coming. Never see coming, pun intended. So I'm taking you on a journey of a young woman, naive, confident, but naive, thinking she knows it all. She doesn't really know it all. Trying to survive in a world ruled by men. Trying to placate 3 bosses at once, all of them men, and one of them her new lover. And trying to prevent falling in love. Trying to climb the career ladder. And yeah, as a first job goes out of uni, I picked a fucking job's worth. True Nixalina style. I don't do anything easy and I don't do anything by halves. So that's the LOLLY narrative, the concept of the book. There are 30 chapters. It is 140,000 words long. I don't know, 300 or so plus pages. 9 years in writing. And last year, I got 3 publishing deals for it. I've never been prouder of myself. 3 publishing deals. Could not be prouder. But here's the thing. I think I'm going to have to turn them all down. What? I know. So listen. In this day and age, what with social media and someone whose life has been built on a brand in marketing, hello, that's me, you can self-publish to a very high level where you have control over your work. And the reason I've not fully signed, I got to sign the 3rd one, okay? So the first 2, I was like sitting on them, not okay. There was things in that contract that were going to bind me to future rights, like film rights, TV rights, audio. And there were things where actually I wasn't comfortable letting that publishing house have such control. And then the second one was a similar vein. And then the 3rd one, I was ready to sign. The 3rd one I really loved. However, the more I sat on it, the more I talked to people, I believe they are pricing my book too high. Can you believe that? I don't know how many authors, especially debut authors, would be worried that their book is too expensive, but I do. I think they want too much. And I sound ungrateful. I'm so grateful that they value my work at that price. I really am. I'm very honored that they believe my manuscript is worth that much. But I don't want to make people pay that. I don't want people to have to pay what the publishing house thinks it's worth. I want it to be cheaper for everyone. I want LOLLY to be available to someone, who doesn't usually read, who decides, hey, what? Why not? Pick it up. I want it to be available inclusively. And I think with the pricing point, they're making it a little bit too exclusive. So I haven't signed that publishing deal yet. And the more this goes on, the more I think, hey, wait, self-publishing might be actually the best option. And I can't believe I'm saying it. I can't believe I'm saying I got 3 publishing deals. And I can't believe I'm saying I might turn them all down. What? Am I insane or am I a genius? We will find out this year, 2025. Is she mad or is she mad but insanely clever? It's always a fine line, ain't it, between the two? Have you noticed? Lots of geniuses in their time were actually deemed like a laughingstock and a bit mental. Einstein, I believe, was one of them. Is it Einstein? Anyway, digressed. I'm not comparing myself to Albert Einstein. I am not putting myself in that category. But yes, so that's where I'm at with LOLLY. I had a book cover designed many moons ago. I now want to revise that. I've had an editor proofread my work and edit my work. To be very clear, I've had no ghostwriter. And you can't write erotica on chat these days, okay? AI can't help you. So, you know, this work is my own personal blood, sweat and tears, my own memories, my own words. And you'll realise it's my own memories and words because you can't make this shit up about what actually happens. It's insane. Like, I read it back and I'm like, that can't have been real life. Fucking was. Oh, God. Anywho, it will be coming out in 2025. I'm still deciding on whether I sign the deal or not, or I go self-publishing. What I will 110, 20 billion% be doing is a book launch in Singapore. I'll have a very limited edition stack of signed copies for people attending my book launch in Singapore. Of course, true Nixalina style, it'll involve a big-ass party. It'll involve a lot of champagne. And I'll treat you to something very special that evening. I will also be offering signed copies for the world to also order. I understand that it's not fair if it's just exclusively Singapore. I know a lot of my London and UK people want one. So there'll be a limited edition of those. And then, yeah, the rest is for everyone to enjoy. That's where we're at with Lolly. Everything you need to know. Thank you so much to everyone who's showed their support. I have serious imposter syndrome with this one, so when I eventually release it, be kind. But hopefully you enjoy it, and I hope it doesn't affect you as badly as it affected me living it. And that's all I'll say on the matter. Thank you very much for listening. As always, if you need me, if you want me, slide into my DMs on Instagram at Nixalina, Nixalina. And with that, I will see you all next week. Thanks for listening to the Can't Keep My Mouth Shut podcast. Produced and hosted by me, Nixalina, and recorded in the Splice Cast Studios in Singapore. I'm available to listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and all major podcast listening apps. Do subscribe to enjoy a new episode every Monday evening. Please do give me a 5-star review. It helps other people also find my podcast. For more content and features to read, you can check out my website, Nixalina.com. That's Nixalina.com. I'm also on social media. Simply search at Nixalina, Nixalina, to find me. Don't be shy. Come say hi.